Hey guys, what's up? I got some interesting news right now. As we all know, the game Modern Warfare has kind of become a controversial topic amongst certain journalists. And some of the people that got to see the game, certain YouTubers started talking about it and mentioned that fact. Hutch right here, he said he got to go see the game and see a couple of the missions that are in the game. And he said it was way intense. If you go and watch the video, I have the link down in the description. Um, he describes one of the missions, the first one he saw, I'm pretty sure it's the first one he saw, where you go into kind of like an apartment complex at night, kind of like Zero Dark 30 style, where you all have night vision. You drop down in some little birds. You go inside and you are trying to figure out who is a terrorist and who's not. And the problem with warfare in today's day is that the terrorists dress the same as the civilians, and they definitely use that to their advantage. And like real talk, one of the reasons they do that is because if you accidentally kill a civilian trying to kill, a terrorist, then the terrorist can be like, "See, these people are killing, innocent people, your people. You should join our side." And they definitely use that to their advantage. I hope that's something they touch on in the game if they're going realistic and real controversial with it. But he says you see stuff like that. Like this guy opens a room, he doesn't know what to expect, and it looks like somebody's going for something, and he shoots him, and all the guy was trying to do was like put up his hands. Um, there's one room where it's a guy and this lady, and it turns out they're actually both terrorists. And so he drops the guy. The lady goes to get a gun to shoot him, and so he has to drop the woman and move on. Really intense stuff. And then another mission, you are looking through the eyes of like an 8-year-old girl whose town has just been attacked, and she is in the rubble of what used to be her home, and she's making knocking noises, and you're playing as her, you're doing these things, and then people come and try to like rescue you out of there, and then you're with your dad, then he lets you know your mom died and like your brother died, but your older brother is still there. Then you have to run away, and these like religious Russian nationalists, I guess, again, these mercenaries come in, and you're running away, and you have these gas masks, and at some point your dad gets killed, you run away, and as a kid you have to like grab a screwdriver and try to sneak up on this mercenary who's trying to track you down, and like you stab him in the legs, you run away, you get something, you stab him in the leg again, you run away, and then the next time um he says like your brother gets involved and like gets on the guy's back to distract him and leans back, and I don't know if this guy's wearing a vest or a plate carrier, but him leaning back apparently like his stomach gets exposed, and the girl that you're playing as just has to take a screwdriver and just stab until he just stops moving, just over and over and over again. And he mentions that the graphics in the game make it way intense. The new engine they've been working on for 5 years, he says apparently um, they found a way to run it to get like 5 times as many like polygon textures out of it somehow. So it is definitely a huge leap, a much bigger leap than we've ever seen before between like the prior year of a Call of Duty game. And these journalists are saying, no, the game's too real, the game's too intense, you need to take out some of these missions, you need to delete parts of the game. Someone called this particular journalist a book burner, so he replied, I am not a book burner or a game burner. In 30 years of writing about games, I have never said something like this. I am raising the question for this one, and I am saying they should drop these scenes. I am flagging this for parents to be aware of another no Russian. Okay, he said he's not a book burner, but they need to drop certain scenes. So I replied, quote, I'm not a book burner, I just want to burn the parts I don't like, because it's pretty much what he just said. So then I said, call on parents to be cautious of letting kids play mature games. Don't call on creators to delete their work. And I really want to see you guys respond in the comments. What do you think about that? Please keep the conversation going down there. I'm really curious. But like honestly, I feel if the graphics hadn't made such a big jump, the scenes wouldn't be as intense or as scary. There are some pretty gruesome scenes in Black Ops. There are some pretty gruesome scenes in Black Ops 2, but I feel like if the graphics had made such a leap as this game has made, then they would have been under similar scrutiny. I think it's just the timing of we went so many years without a super realistic Call of Duty. We finally have one where we're trying to make it realistic, and the graphics went up by that much, it's just going to be a huge shock regardless, and you're going to get reactions like this. I think if they let GTA be, they should let this game be. In GTA, you can run over old people with extreme prejudice and nobody bats an eye. You can mow down cops and innocent people. And I feel like if the graphics were a lot better or at the level of this game, then people might say something. If you saw someone get hit by a car and disemboweled in the street in a game and it looked realistic, people would say something. But because the graphics are good enough to look good, but not good enough to scare you, GTA gets, gets a free ride pretty much. Um, so people are thinking this game might be taken down before it even gets started. I don't think so. I think Modern Warfare is coming out. I don't believe it's going to get an adult rating. I think all this publicity is going to do is get people to want to buy the game even more. But if you are a parent, you know, definitely keep an eye on this game for your kid. There will probably be some type of feature to the game to keep out certain gore or to censor certain missions. And that's really what this guy Dean should have cried out for instead of just, no, I don't like it, delete it. But last bit of information. So in one of my previous videos, I thought this weapon might be an M60 or a newer variant of such. So it's kind of right. Somebody pointed out that it looks more like the MG5. So I looked at it, and sure enough, the barrel portion that's past the sight is folded on the picture I have on the right, but it does flip up like in the picture on the left. Um, the barrel length is longer past that than the M60, so that matches up better. That makes more sense. Um, but also, the mag box protrudes to the right of the weapon, not the left like the other MGs. Most other MGs that you will see, um, this one it protrudes out to the right. And so after seeing that, this guy was correct. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Jam Jars. Other people pointed it out, but he was the very first one that got me looking into it. So I definitely want to also thank the Flex Tango Task Force. You guys are always helping out. If I ask for clarification or more details on something or to, check something, I know that I always got support in the comments and I appreciate that. And I hope me giving you guys shout outs shows my appreciation and you understand that. So anyways, this is the updated weapons list so far from what we've been able to identify. If you want to see that video, I'll have the link down in the description as well. And I honestly think Real Weapons is a great opportunity for the game because all these previous games, they've just, made up weapons, pulled them out of their butt, and had to make up these stats in their head for them. I really hope they investigated these weapons and did ballistics testing at different ranges and checked the damage and distance and recoil and all that. Used real world hands-on experience with these weapons to create a rating system for them and how they apply in multiplayer instead of just pulling everything out of their ass. I understand when designing a weapon that's imaginary, like in the previous CODs, it's like a ball of clay you got to mold on your own. But when I get that gun, I don't want it to feel like it's still a ball of clay that you're constantly molding and changing with no consistency. That is so freaking annoying. Please just put the weapon in the game and let it be. Just let it be. And don't be so quick to listen to all the complaining 12-year-olds or youngins out there who will bitch and moan about every gun they get killed by. Because anytime they die, it's not fair. There's no way that person could have possibly killed them. You have to nerf all these weapons. No. Take a step back, wait a minute, then wait a little bit longer. Go out, get a bite to eat, maybe some coffee, and proceed to not touch the game unless it is a dire emergency. Leave those weapons alone. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on the matter. Um, please talk about everything that went down in this video in the comments. Give your opinion, keep the conversation going, and I'll get back to you guys next time. Peace.